Hey everyone, Kavemi here with another Reddit story. Today's is about a woman trapped in fear by her obsessive ex until she finally started dating a massive MMA fighter who knew how to turn his strength into protection. It's an amazing story about reclaiming freedom. Settle in, enjoy the Minecraft in the background, and let's get into it. The title is My Abusive Ex-Fiancé Harassed Every Man Who Spoke to Me Until I Started Dating a 6'5" professional cage fighter. My name's Eleanor, and I'm 28 years old. 4 years ago, I finally ended things with Vincent after 5 years in the worst relationship of my life. But my departure didn't mean he stopped hounding me. The intimidation began the day after I left. I was at a big box store just to pick up supplies for my new apartment when a man about my age offered a pleasant smile in the cleaning aisle. Just a cordial, ordinary smile. I returned it the way any normal person would. 2 hours later, Vincent appeared at my new home. I still have no idea how he located my address. He pounded on the door so violently I thought it would splinter. "I saw you at the store," he yelled through the wood. "I saw that guy checking you out. You think you can just move on? You think I'll allow some random stranger to believe he has a chance with you?" I called the police. They arrived and spoke to him. By then he had calmed down, all false sincerity and feigned regret. He claimed it was a misunderstanding, just heightened emotions from a recent breakup. The officers essentially told us both to get on with our lives. That was the first instance. The second occurred at a local coffee house. A cheerful barista engaged in light conversation while preparing my drink. Vincent was secretly there, watching from a corner table. I hadn't even noticed him. The barista, a kind young man who couldn't have been older than 20, finished his shift only to find all 4 of his car tyres slashed in the parking garage. He didn't connect it to me, but I knew it was Vincent. The third time was at my fitness centre. A man simply asked if I was finished with a piece of equipment. Vincent tracked him down to his vehicle and apparently got in his face, threatening him to stay away from me or face consequences. The victim reported it to the staff. They reviewed the security footage. Vincent was permanently banned from the premises, but he didn't stop. For 2 years, this defined my existence. I couldn't speak to men. I couldn't offer a friendly smile. I couldn't simply exist in public without paranoia that Vincent was watching. I tried to obtain a restraining order, but Vincent was cunning. He never attacked me directly. It was always the men around me who suffered. He consistently had an alibi or just enough distance to deny culpability, and nothing ever stuck. My friends urged me to relocate. My father wanted me to come back home to Michigan, but I had established a career in Nashville, Tennessee. I was a successful web developer. I had my own place and a routine. Why should I be the one forced to flee? So I stayed and became a phantom. I stopped going out, I stopped dating. I rarely left my apartment unless it was for work. I was a 26-year-old living the life of an anchorite. Then I met Leo. It was a Wednesday, and my work computer completely failed right in the middle of a critical project. I panicked and raced to the tech repair shop, a few blocks from the office, nearly in tears. Leo was behind the counter. He was immense. I am 5'5", and I had to tilt my head way back to look up at him. He had to be at least 6'5", possibly taller. Wide shoulders, hands the size of shoeboxes. His nose looked like it had been broken multiple times, and a distinct scar cut through his left eyebrow. He appeared intimidating, but his voice was soft and reassuring. "Hey, take it easy, we'll sort this out. Let me check it." I frantically explained the urgent deadline, the panic, everything. He listened patiently, then offered a calm grin. "I can fix this in under an hour. There's a bakery next door. Grab a pastry, try to breathe, and return. I'll take care of it." I wanted to tell him not to be friendly. I wanted to explain that kindness toward me resulted in danger, but with the deadline approaching quickly, I just whispered, "Thank you." An hour later, my computer was operational. Leo refused to charge me for the service. "First-time client courtesy," he said with a smile. "Just pay for the replacement part." I should have just left then, taken my device and never returned, but something about his presence felt secure. Maybe because he was so physically imposing, I couldn't imagine Vincent intimidating him. Maybe I was just exhausted from living in fear. "Thank you, truly," I said. "You saved my work today." "Anytime." He handed me a business card. We're here 6 days a week. Anything technological breaks, you know where to find me. I exited the shop and made it half a block before I realised Vincent was across the street, leaning against a pharmacy wall, watching me. Our eyes met. He offered a smile. Not a friendly one, but a threat. My gut clenched. I hurried back to my office and spent the rest of the day feeling ill. That evening, I drove past a repair shop on my route home. The lights were on. I could see Leo through the glass working at the counter. I pulled over and just sat there, watching, expecting Vincent to appear and commit some act of vandalism. But nothing happened. Leo locked up at 7 p.m, got into a huge pickup truck and drove away. I went home and couldn't sleep. The next morning, I was distracted at work. I kept refreshing the repair shop's social media page, bracing for a post about a break-in or damaged property, but there was nothing. At lunchtime, I walked past the shop. Leo was inside, looking perfectly fine, assisting a customer. He saw me through the window and gave a quick wave. I waved back and kept walking. My heart pounding in my chest. 3 days passed. Nothing happened. Vincent didn't show up at my apartment. Leo's shop wasn't harmed. No slashed tyres, no confrontations. It was inexplicable. On Saturday, I decided to go to the outdoor market downtown. I used to go every weekend before Vincent, but I'd stopped because he always seemed to find me there. This was the first time in well over a year. I was inspecting some artisan cheese when I heard a familiar voice behind me. Eleanor. I turned. Leo was standing there in athletic gear, holding a large canvas shopping tote. His arms were enormous, not gym buff huge, but fighter huge, all functional muscle and old scars. Hi, I said, trying to appear nonchalant. I didn't know you frequented this market. He smiled. The stall over there makes these breakfast tacos that are incredible. Have you tried them? I shook my head. Come on, my treat. Call it an apology for overcharging you for that computer part. You didn't overcharge me. I know, but I'm buying you a taco anyway. His tone made it impossible to argue. We walked to the vendor, and Leo ordered 2 tacos and 2 freshly squeezed limeades. We found a bench under an oak tree to eat, and we talked, really talked. He told me about growing up in Wyoming, about moving to Nashville 5 years ago. He explained how he'd always been good with machines but needed a physical outlet, which is why he trained. Trained what? I asked. MMA, mixed martial arts. I compete professionally. Semi-professionally, really. I've had 12 matches and won 9. My stomach clenched. You're a fighter? Yeah, he said, taking a bite of his taco. I know. People hear that and assume I'm some brutish lunk, but honestly, it's the opposite. Fighting instills control, discipline. When you truly know how to inflict pain, you become extremely careful not to. I didn't know what to say. Part of me wanted to run. Part of me wanted to tell him everything about Vincent. Part of me just wanted to sit there and enjoy a normal conversation for the first time in years. We spoke for 2 hours. He was witty, intelligent, and surprisingly gentle for a man who beat people for a living. When we finally said goodbye, he asked for my phone number. I hesitated. Every fibre of my being screamed that this was reckless, but I was so profoundly tired of being terrified. I gave him my number. That night he texted me. Thanks for the market. That was genuinely nice. Would you like to get dinner sometime? I stared at my phone for 10 minutes before replying. I need to tell you something first. Okay. So I told him everything about Vincent, about the threats, the pattern of men around me getting hurt or scared away, about how I hadn't dated for 2 years because I refused to be responsible for anyone else suffering. I expected him to stop replying. I expected him to make an excuse and vanish, as any rational person would. Instead, he wrote back, "That's appalling. I'm sorry you've endured that. But here's the thing, Eleanor. I'm not afraid of your ex, and I would genuinely like to take you out to dinner." We had dinner that Tuesday at a lovely Greek restaurant downtown. I was intensely paranoid the entire time, scanning the room for Vincent, but he was absent. Leo discussed his upcoming fight, set to happen in 3 weeks right here in Nashville. He seemed eager but uneasy. My opponent is tough. He has a wrestling background, and that's historically my weakness. What's your strength? I asked. Striking. I started as a boxer, but in MMA you have to be versatile. After dinner he walked me to my car. I had a wonderful time, he said, Can we do this again? Yes, I said, and I meant it. We started meeting regularly. 2 dates a week became 3, then 4. He never pushed for anything physical beyond holding hands or a goodnight kiss. He was patient, kind, and made me feel secure for the first time in years. And Vincent never appeared. It was strange, unnerving. I kept anticipating the inevitable breakdown, but it never arrived. 3 weeks into dating Leo, I attended his fight. He'd given me 2 passes, so I brought my friend Sarah. She had been my closest friend since college and had witnessed Vincent systematically dismantle my life. I can't believe you're dating someone, Sarah said as we found our seats. And I truly can't believe he's a cage fighter. He's not who you'd expect, I clarified. Look at you, you're smiling, you're out in public, you're living again. The fight was brutal. I had never seen MMA before, and the violence was shocking. But Leo was magnificent, quick and precise. He finished his opponent with a knockout in the second round. After the match, we went backstage to celebrate. His face was bruised and his hands were wrapped. But he was beaming. You came, he said when he saw me. Of course I came. He kissed me right there in front of everyone. It was the first true kiss we shared, and it felt like everything fell into place. We went out to celebrate with his team and friends. At the pub, Leo introduced me to everyone. This is Eleanor, my girlfriend. Girlfriend? The word sent a jolt through me. I hadn't been anyone's girlfriend since Vincent. That night, after everyone had left, Leo and I sat in his truck in the parking lot. I need to tell you something, he said. My chest tightened. Here it comes, I thought. He's going to say Vincent is too much. But instead he said, your ex paid me a visit. About 2 weeks ago, everything stopped. What? He showed up at the shop, waited until I was alone and came in. He started making threats, told me to stay away from you, said he'd ruin my life if I didn't. I felt unable to breathe. Leo, I'm so sorry. I should have given you a stronger warning. I should have... Eleanor, he interrupted, taking my hand. Let me finish. So your ex is standing there trying to intimidate me, recounting all the terrible things he's done to other men who talk to you, and I simply listened. I let him say his piece. Then, you know what I did? I shook my head. I informed him that I fight for a living, that I have been training for 12 years, that I've been hit by the best strikers in Tennessee and taken down by the best wrestlers. And I told him that if he ever came near you again, if he so much as sent you a text or drove past your apartment, I would find him, and it wouldn't be a threat. It would be a promise. My hands were shaking. What did he do? He tried to maintain his tough facade for about 10 more seconds. Then he realised I wasn't backing down and he left. Haven't heard a sound from him since. I didn't know whether to laugh or weep. You threatened him. I didn't threaten him. I made him comprehend the consequences. There's a distinction. Leo looked at me seriously. Eleanor, I understand what you've been through, and I know you've likely spent years protecting everyone else, but you don't have to protect me. I am capable of defending myself, and more importantly, I want to protect you. That was 4 months ago. Vincent has not contacted me since, hasn't shown up anywhere, hasn't harmed anyone near me. For the first time in over 2 years, I am free. Leo and I are still together. I attend all his matches now. He has won his last 3. We moved in together last month to a small house with a yard. The house was Leo's suggestion. He was tired of his small apartment above the repair shop, and I was weary of my 1 bedroom filled with trauma. We decided to create a fresh beginning together. House hunting was a revealing experience. I constantly focused on security, strong locks, well-lit streets, clear exit paths. Leo noticed. We will find a place where you feel safe, he assured me. Take all the time you need. We found it 3 weeks later, a small 2-bedroom home in a quiet neighbourhood. The owner was a kind older woman named Mrs. Higgins who lived nearby. She looked at Leo and commented, "Oh, excellent. You're a big one. We need more good men on this street." Leo laughed. "I'll do my best, Mum." We moved in on a Saturday. Sarah helped, along with Leo's 2 training partners, Mark and Dean. Both were fighters too, though not as enormous as Leo. They treated me like immediate family. "Leo never stops talking about you," Mark said while carrying boxes. "It's honestly irritating. Eleanor this, Eleanor that. We get it, man. You're in love." Leo tossed a roll of tape at him. That first night we ate pizza on the floor since we had no furniture. Leo put his arm around me and said, "This is ours, our sanctuary, our life. Nobody else gets to invade this." I believed him. The next few months were the happiest of my life. I was learning what a normal relationship felt like. Leo and I had our first significant disagreement 3 months in. It was trivial. He forgot to text me that he would be late leaving the gym. I became anxious because he wouldn't answer his phone. When he finally arrived home, I snapped at him. He didn't retaliate. He simply said, "You're right. I should have called. I apologise." That was it. No shouting, no punishment, no days of silent treatment. Just an apology and a promise to do better. I cried. I stood in our kitchen and wept because I had forgotten that arguments could be so simple. Leo held me while I explained how Vincent used to escalate every minor disagreement into a major conflict. How he'd punish me with silence for days, refuse to tell me what I'd done wrong, and make me beg for forgiveness for things I didn't understand. "I am never going to do that to you," Leo promised. "We will argue sometimes, that's normal. But we will argue fairly and we will always reconnect. Always. I am learning to live again, to go out without anxiety, to smile at strangers, to exist in the world as a regular person." But the healing wasn't immediate. About 5 months into our relationship, I suffered a panic attack at a restaurant. We were having dinner with some of Leo's gym friends, and one of them brought his new girlfriend, Amy. She seemed nice, was my age, and had long dark hair like mine. When she began a story about her ex-boyfriend, the way she described him caused my chest to constrict. The restaurant was loud and packed. Too many people. Suddenly I couldn't breathe. I excused myself to the restroom and locked myself in a stall, trying to recall my old therapist's breathing techniques. But I couldn't calm down. My heart was racing. I was certain Vincent was outside, waiting. Sarah found me 10 minutes later. She had noticed my prolonged absence. She sat on the bathroom floor with me while I broke down. "It's okay," she kept repeating. "You are safe. Vincent is not here. Leo is right outside. You are safe." Eventually, Leo came looking for us. He looked at me and understood instantly. He didn't ask questions. He simply helped me up, told his friends we had to leave, and drove me home. In bed that night, I apologised. "I ruined dinner." "You didn't ruin anything," he said. "You had a panic attack. That is not your fault. I thought I was making progress." "You are making progress, but healing is not linear. Some days will be hard. That is acceptable." He convinced me to restart therapy. Her name was Dr. Lee Chen. And yes, I noticed the name similarity. She specialised in trauma recovery. Dr. Chen was excellent. She didn't force me to relive every event, but she helped me process the trauma. She helped me understand that Vincent's actions were not my fault, that I didn't deserve it, and that I didn't provoke it. "You cannot control the actions of others," she told me. "You can only control your response, and your response was to survive. That is strength." Therapy helped. Gradually, I began to feel more like the person I was before Vincent, the girl who laughed easily, trusted people, and didn't flinch when a voice was raised. Last week, I was alone at the grocery store when I saw Vincent in the frozen foods aisle. My body locked up. He saw me too. For a second, we just stared at each other. Then he abruptly turned his cart and walked in the opposite direction without a word. I stood there for a minute, comprehending the scene. Then I laughed, actually laughed out loud in the middle of the store, because Vincent was afraid not of me, but of the person who chose to stand beside me. That evening, I told Leo what happened. "He ran away from you," Leo said, grinning. "Good. I feel like I should feel guilty about that," I confessed. "Like you essentially scared him into leaving me alone through intimidation. Isn't that just more of the same?" Leo paused to consider. "The difference is, I am not controlling you. I am not telling you who you can talk to or where you can go. I am not making your life smaller. I just ensured he couldn't do that anymore. That is not the same thing." He was correct. A few days later, something surprising happened. I received a message on a social media platform from a woman named Olivia. I didn't recognise the name, but her profile showed she lived in Nashville. The message read, "I hope this isn't strange, but I heard through a mutual connection that you used to be engaged to Vincent Miller. I'm reaching out because I just started dating him, and some things are starting to feel wrong. I was wondering if we could talk. My blood ran cold. Vincent had moved on and was already beginning the same pattern with someone else. I called Leo immediately and read him the message. What should I do? You meet her, he said without hesitation. You tell her everything. You give her the opportunity you never had. So I did. Olivia and I met at a cafe the next day. She was 24, beautiful, and looked extremely anxious. I didn't hold back. I told her about the 5 years of control, how Vincent isolated me from friends, how he tracked my location and monitored my communications, about the threats after I left, and the 2 years of hell where I couldn't even have a normal conversation with a man without him suffering. Olivia's face grew progressively paler. He told me you were crazy, she whispered, that you fabricated stories about him, that you cheated, and then tried to destroy his life when he ended the relationship. That is his standard tactic, I said. He rewrites history, casting himself as the victim. He's already started checking my phone, Olivia said softly. He claims it's because he has trust issues from his last relationship. From you. I thought I was helping him heal. You're not helping him. You're enabling him. And it will only get worse. Olivia left the coffee shop in tears. I didn't know if she would heed my advice, but 2 days later she texted me. I broke up with him. He completely lost it, started screaming and hitting the walls, but I got out. Thank you. I showed Leo the message. You saved her, he said. You broke the cycle. We broke the cycle, I corrected. But the story with Olivia wasn't finished. 3 days after the breakup, she called me in a panic. He's outside my apartment, she said, her voice shaking. He's been there for an hour, just sitting in his car, staring at my window. I called the police, but they said unless he does something, they can't act. Where do you live? I asked. She gave me the location. It was only 15 minutes away. I didn't even think. I grabbed my keys and headed for the door. Leo stopped me. Where are you going? Olivia's place. Vincent is there. She's terrified. Then I'm going with you. We drove to Olivia's apartment together. Sure enough, Vincent's car was parked across the street. I could see him in the driver's seat staring up at a window. Leo parked directly behind him. He got out of the truck and walked up to Vincent's car. I watched from our truck as Leo tapped on Vincent's window. Vincent rolled it down. I couldn't hear their exchange, but I could see Vincent's expression. He looked furious at first, then terrified. Then he started his car and drove away quickly. Leo returned to the truck. He's gone. What did you say to him? I reminded him of our last discussion, and I told him that if he ever harassed you, me, or anyone else in your life again, I would ensure everyone in Nashville knew exactly what kind of person he is, including his employer. His employer? I did some research after he came to the shop. Vincent works at a major brokerage firm downtown. They have a strict conduct policy. I doubt they'd be thrilled to know one of their employees is stalking multiple women. I stared at him. You researched him? Of course I did. Know your enemy. That's fighting 101. We went up to Olivia's apartment. She was still trembling, but profoundly grateful. We stayed with her for an hour, ensuring Vincent didn't return. Before we left, I gave her Dr. Chen's information. Therapy helps, I said. Trust me. That weekend we were back at the outdoor market, the same spot where we had our first real conversation. We were eating tacos under the same tree when Leo said, I'm competing for the regional championship next month. It's the biggest fight of my career. I'll be there, I said instantly. I know you will. He took my hand. But that's not what I wanted to discuss. Eleanor, before I met you, fighting was everything. It was my entire purpose. But now, I don't know. It's still important, but it's not everything anymore. You are everything. My heart pounded. Leo, I'm not proposing, he quickly clarified, laughing. Not yet, anyway. I just wanted you to know that meeting you changed my life. You reminded me that there is more to life than fighting. That being strong isn't just about how hard you can hit. It's about who you protect, who you stand up for, who you choose. I kissed him right there under the tree. People probably watched. I didn't care. The championship fight was 3 weeks later. Leo's opponent was a fighter from Memphis with an impressive record. 18 wins, 2 losses. Both of Leo's coaches were anxious, but Leo was calm. I'm prepared, he told me the night before. I've trained harder for this than anything, but even if I lose, I have already won because I have you. The match was brutal. 5 rounds. Leo took heavy damage. His face was bloody by the 3rd round, but he never yielded. He kept pushing, fighting, and advancing. I couldn't watch half the time. Sarah sat next to me, gripping my hand. Every time Leo was struck, I flinched, but every time he got back up, I cheered louder. In the 5th round, with less than a minute left, Leo landed a perfect combination. His opponent collapsed. The referee stopped the fight. Leo won. The arena erupted. I screamed until my throat was hoarse. When they announced Leo as the new regional champion, I wept. Truly happy tears for the first time in years. After the fight in the locker room, Leo's face was swollen and bruised and his eye was nearly shut, but he was smiling. "We did it," he said. "You did it," I corrected. "No, we did. Do you think I could have focused on training if I was constantly worried about some psycho threatening you? You freed me just as much as I freed you." He was right. We had saved each other. A few weeks after the championship, Leo was offered a contract with a larger promotion. Better pay, better exposure, tougher opponents. It meant more travel, more risk, and more time apart. "What do you think?" he asked. "Should I accept it?" "Absolutely," I said without hesitation. "This is your lifelong dream. I won't hold you back." "You could never hold me back." He pulled me close. "Come with me to the fights, to the training camps, to everything. I don't want to do this without you." So that's what we did. I switched my design job to remote work and we started traveling. I watched him fight in Dallas, San Antonio, and Las Vegas. He won some and lost some, but he was happy. We were happy. His first loss was difficult to witness. It was in Vegas against a seasoned fighter who had been training for 15 years. Leo fought admirably, but the other man was simply better that night. After the decision was announced, I saw the disappointment on Leo's face. Back in the hotel room, he was quiet, sitting on the edge of the bed. "You fought well," I said. "Not well enough." "You can't win every match. That's not how this sport works." "I know, it's just tough. I wanted to win that one for you." I sat down next to him. "Leo, I don't need you to win fights for me. I need you to be safe, to be healthy, to come home to me. That is all I care about." He looked at me then, truly looked. How did I get so incredibly lucky? We both got lucky. 6 months into his new contract, we were in a hotel room in Phoenix the night before a fight. Leo was supposed to be sleeping, conserving energy, but he was sitting up, looking anxious. "What's, wrong?" I asked. "Nothing's wrong." He stood and pulled a small box from his gym bag. My heart stopped. "Eleanor, I know I said I wasn't proposing at the market, but that was months ago, and I've been carrying this around to every fight, waiting for the perfect moment. And I realised something. There is no perfect moment. There is only us, and I don't want to wait another day." He opened the box. Inside was a simple, beautiful ring. "Will you marry me?" I couldn't speak. I simply nodded and extended my hand. He placed the ring on my finger, and we both started to cry. Huge, happy tears. The next night, he won his fight. He dedicated the victory to his fiancée. That was 2 months ago. We are planning the wedding now. Something small, just close friends and family. Sarah will be my maid of honour. Leo's brothers are flying in from Wyoming. Wedding planning has been amusing. This giant fighter wants to be involved in every detail, which is sweet but hilarious. "I want lemon," he said during our cake tasting, but with the raspberry filling. The baker smiled. You two are meant for each other. We chose an outdoor ceremony, small and intimate, with only 40 guests. Leo's gym is letting us use their outdoor training area, which sounds odd, but it's a beautiful space, with string lights and a view of the surrounding hills. "It's where we became who we are," Leo said. "It feels right." Last week I received another social media message, this time from a man named Thomas. "I heard you know Vincent Miller," the message said. "I'm a private investigator. I've been hired by his current girlfriend to look into some threatening behaviour. Would you be willing to give a statement?" Apparently Vincent had moved on to yet another victim, a woman named Carla, and Carla was smarter than the rest of us. She'd hired a PI before things got too bad. The PI was building a case for a restraining order that might actually stick. I gave my statement, So did Olivia. Then the PI contacted me again. We found 5 other women, he said, all with similar stories. We're building a pattern of behaviour case. Would you be willing to testify if it goes to court? I looked at Leo. He was preparing dinner, moving around our kitchen like he'd always been there. Our kitchen, our home, our life. Yes, I told the PI, I will testify. 3 weeks later, I got a call from the PI. Vincent has been served with a restraining order, and the district attorney is considering charges for stalking and harassment. It's looking very strong. I called Olivia to share the news. She started weeping on the phone. It's truly over. It's finally over. That night, Leo and I celebrated. Not with champagne, but by sitting on our sofa, watching a movie, being ordinary. You did it, Leo said during a break. You put a stop to him. We did it. All of us. Every woman who came forward. You know what the best part is? Leo asked. Vincent has to live with the fact that he lost. Not to me, not to some guy, but to all of you. You took your power back. He was right. The preliminary hearing was set for 2 months later, right after our wedding. The prosecutor called me to review my testimony. She was a woman in her 40s named Valerie, who had prosecuted domestic violence cases for 15 years. I've seen many cases like this, Valerie told me, but I've seldom seen this many victims willing to step forward. You should be proud. I'm just tired of being afraid, I said. You won't have to be afraid anymore. Not after this. The wedding planning continued. Leo's mother flew in early to help. She was everything I expected. Warm, humorous, and completely devoted to her son. She hugged me immediately. Thank you for loving my boy, she said. He's been through a lot. He lost his father when he was 17. Fighting helped him channel that anger. But you've made him genuinely happy. I hadn't known about Leo's father. He had mentioned his family, but not that loss. That night I asked him about it. Car accident, Leo said quietly. Drunk driver. My dad was coming home from work, gone instantly. I don't discuss it much, but it's part of why I fight. My dad always told me to defend those who couldn't defend themselves, to use my size for good. Fighting allows me to do that, and so do you. Me? Yes. Standing up to Vincent for you felt like honouring my dad, like I was finally big enough, strong enough to protect someone the way I couldn't protect him. We both cried that night. 2 damaged people who had found each other and somehow created something whole. Yesterday, I was at the big box store, the same one where this all began 4 years ago. I was in the cleaning aisle, and a man around my age smiled at me. I smiled back, and nothing bad happened. No threats, no fear, no Vincent. Just a normal moment, a smile between strangers, the kind of thing that happens every day for normal people. I bought my supplies and left. In the parking area, I sat in my car and simply breathed, truly breathed free air, safe air. Then I drove home to the house I share with Leo, the house where I am allowed to exist without fear, where I can be myself, where I can smile at strangers and have male friends and live my life without constantly looking over my shoulder. Tonight Leo has a fight. Nothing major, just a local event. But I will be there ringside, wearing his team shirt and yelling my support because that is what you do when you love someone. You show up, you support them, you stand beside them. And if anyone ever tries to intimidate me again, tries to diminish me, tries to make me afraid, they will have to contend with Leo first. Not because I need him to save me, but because he chooses to stand beside me. Because we choose each other every single day. The wedding is next week. We chose a Saturday evening ceremony, right at sunset. Sarah found my dress, a simple white gown that makes me feel beautiful without trying too hard. Leo hasn't seen it yet. He's being traditional, which made me laugh. You get punched in the face for a living, but you're superstitious about seeing my dress. Some things you don't mess with, he said seriously. His brothers arrived yesterday, both younger than Leo, but still massive. They treat me like family, mercilessly teasing Leo about going soft. He cried during a commercial yesterday, Jake told me. A commercial for insurance. It was about a father teaching his daughter to ride a bicycle, Leo defended. It was touching. I love this side of him, the soft side that only appears around those he trusts. My father came in from Michigan too. He and Leo's mother instantly bonded. My dad pulled me aside yesterday morning. He's good for you, he said. I can see it. You are yourself again, my Eleanor. The girl who used to laugh at everything and trust everyone. I'm better than I was, I said. Still working on it. We are all always working on it. That's life. The rehearsal dinner is tomorrow. Leo insisted on having it at the market, at the taco stand where we had our first real conversation. The vendor was delighted. Tonight is Leo's fight, his last before the wedding. I'm getting ready, pulling on his team shirt and my lucky jeans. Sarah is picking me up. Leo left hours ago to prepare, but he texted me before he went into the locker room. See you soon. I love you. And after this, it's just us and forever. Just us and forever. I love the sound of that. Vincent took 4 years of my life, my confidence, my freedom, and my ability to exist without fear. But he doesn't get to take anything else. He doesn't get my future. He doesn't get my happiness. He doesn't get my Leo. I took those back. We took those back. And I am never giving them up again. The preliminary hearing's scheduled for 2 weeks after the wedding. All 5 of us are testifying. The prosecutor, Valerie, says the case is strong. Vincent is done, she told me. Men like him only have power when their victims are isolated and scared. When you all stand together, he is nothing. I believe her. Sometimes I wonder what would have happened if my computer hadn't died that day. If I'd never met Leo, I'd probably still be living in fear. But I did meet Leo, and he taught me that not all powerful men use their strength to control. Some use it to protect. Some use it to create space for others to be free. Vincent made my world smaller. Leo made it bigger. Vincent made me fear my own shadow. Leo taught me how to walk in the light again. Next week, I am marrying the love of my life. I'm taking his last name. Chen. Eleanor Chen. It sounds like a fresh beginning. I'm just excited. So completely in love with this life I am building. With this man who saw me at my most broken and decided I was worth fighting for. With this future that is finally mine. That wraps up today's story. Wow. That's a masterclass in how to take your power back. Literally by getting a 6'5" fighter boyfriend. It's an amazing outcome for Eleanor and all the other women Vincent tried to victimize. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this whole situation. And be sure to stick around for more Reddit story content. Always with those chill Minecraft vibes in the background. I'll see you in the next one.